Helldivers 2 developers and the CEO of Arrowhead, Pilestedt, states that the Helldivers are evil side grunts, and that the game was an experiment to see if they could brainwash an entire community to fight for a fascist state. And now they are being invited by the United Nations to give talks on extremism. Rightio then. Well, any attempt of the developers to pretend that they are on the side of the players have now long since disappeared, I fully and firmly believe, as the developers themselves view the players simply as idiots, as fascists dudes that can be brainwashed into totalitarianism, as the bad guys, in essence. That is quite the thing that broke half an hour ago by the time I'm recording this. Player eagerness for the fight for Super Earth begs the question, are we the baddies? Ah yes, it is humanity that is currently being invaded on three sides by genocidal bugs, by genocidal robots, and genocidal space aliens that are the bad guys. Why? Because they're humans, by and large. The outgroup preference of the left yet again rears its remarkably ugly visage, but let's read through some of this, shall we, so that you can get the full context of the insanity of this. If you played Helldivers 2 for more than about 15 seconds, you're probably well acquainted with the game's wry sense of humor. Like Starship Troopers, the game sees players dying in droves as disposable soldiers in the name of a theocratical democratic utopia. Now, I'm not even that big of a Helldivers 2 fan, even I know that that isn't true. The Helldivers are the hyper-elites of Super Earth, whereas the regular grunts, you don't even see them at the moment. Not that they ever see it, as they're all too busy getting torn apart by giant bugs and landing supply drops on each other's heads, and also killing about 30 times their number of enemies, mind you. In a talk at 2025's Game Developer Conference titled Helldivers 2 Capturing Lightning in a Bottle, Arrowhead CEO Johan Pilestedt reiterated for anyone out of the loop that yes, the game is meant to be ironic, and the fight for Super Earth was always meant to be to paint players as dispensable henchmen. What is Helldivers 2 fundamentally? It would probably be fun to play a co-op shooter where you're put in the shoes of the evil side grunts of pop culture. How many seconds would you be able to survive? Again, not even having played that much Helldivers, this is just not true. The Helldivers are not the grunts of Super Earth. They are ridiculous level elites, which is why they can call in, bombing runs and devastating nuclear strikes in essence, and lasers from orbit, etc. They are not the grunts, nor are they by any normal definition the bad guys for simply fighting to be alive. The bugs and the aliens and the robots have all made it very, very clear that their only real interest is to simply wipe humanity off the map to the last man, woman, and child. Resisting that is not evil, you absolute fuckwads. Of course, you might start to wonder how fun it'll actually be once you consider the implications of dressing players up in fascist uniforms and calling them to arms under the banner of an imperial state to die again in the name of democracy. We asked ourselves, could we brainwash an entire community to fight for a fascist state? Would they be okay with that? And it turns out, yeah, actually, Pilestedt said in the talk. This guy considers you to be a fascist. He believes that if you're playing Helldivers as a Helldiver, you are a fascist. You are the bad guy. You are an easily brainwashed idiot. That is Arrowhead's view of you as a player. But it wasn't just players whose heads were turned by the Helldivers' sardonic spin on imperial warfare. Yes, imperial warfare is when your home is being invaded. They also garnered the attention of a little organization you might have heard of called the United Nations. Actually, we got a message from the UN asking if you wanted to talk in some form about psychological defense against manipulation, or in this case, indoctrination, more correctly. Added Pilestedt. This might all sound like the game setting getting a little too real, but he said the key was in finding the right tone and using the imagery in almost educational way. We do it all in fun and good spirits, and we actually try to get people to recognize the science of what is a totalitarian state. If you start wearing the same uniform as everybody else and do the salutes constantly, you might be in a totalitarian regime. Or alternatively, you might be in every single armed organization in the history of humanity. Hell, you might be in one of every single political party in humanity, or every single sports club in the history of humanity. All of this is not evidence of fascist or totalitarian behavior. They are evidence of groupish behavior, which in and of itself is a natural part of human behavior. To simply reduce everything to medieval fascism is exactly why you cannot define totalitarianism today, because everything, by a definition this broad as wearing the same clothes and doing similar salutes, makes quite literally everything fascist. It is unclear if Arrowhead actually had any further discussion with the UN, but it speaks volumes to the game's far-reaching influence and evocative riffs on fascist propaganda. Games are not unfamiliar with these sorts of discussions, but rarely does one invite them so bluntly. To drive the point home and prevent Helldivers 2 from getting too depressing, Arrowhead pulled out the shiny patriotic aesthetics of the US, the EU, and the UN itself, as well as the mantras of regimes like Nazi Germany and North Korea. It creates pleasing aesthetics, Pilestedt noted, because there's something totalitarian regimes are really good at: pleasing aesthetics. Hell, again, if by pleasing aesthetics we yet again mean smart uniforms, then this too is not the sole purview of fascism. Fascism does not equal when uniform good, god damn it. It is hard to imagine Helldivers without its satirical stormtroopers in every corner of the galaxy, and players have certainly responded to the game's call to arms with eager role-playing, joking, and otherwise. Combine that with Helldivers 2's novel approach to live service, wherein game's developers, Ward constantly finds new ways to seem comically hopeless, and it seems like Arrowhead is better at indoctrinating loyal soldiers than one might expect. Though given Magicka's bewildering Vietnam expansion, maybe we should have all seen this coming. If you're interested in doing your part, Helldivers 2 is currently on sale for $31.99. So, make no mistake whatsoever, this is the CEO of Arrowhead, of the company itself, declaring its allegiance. It is on the left. It is doing this to mock you. The mainstream media is embracing that now and claiming the Hell game Helldivers 2 as their thing. This is now an entity meant to take the piss out of you. You are the dumb, evil side grunt that has been brainwashed into fighting for a fascist state. Regardless of whether or not any of that is borne out in the actual video game itself. Like, I believe there was an event a while ago where the Helldivers were choosing between either going to a planet and getting an actual physical reward for themselves, or saving a planet filled with orphans and receiving nothing, and the Helldivers overwhelmingly went for the orphans, saving the children over enriching themselves. This entire post is basically bug posting at its finest, and the problem is, it is made by the people who made the game. This is their explicit intent in doing this. This is their view of you for playing their game. You are an evil side grunt. Now again, I am not the biggest fan of Helldivers 2. Frankly, I found it somewhat repetitive and not all that interesting, and the aesthetic itself was cute, but largely inferior to Starship Troopers as far as I was concerned. And the problem here as well is Starship Troopers has a body of work, as in the book itself, to disprove many of the allegations, whereas here, the developers are saying this was their intent. Now, so far, again, they have largely failed to make that intent clear within the game, but now that they are being contacted by the United Nations, now that they are beginning to receive puff pieces that confirm all of their own points of view and the mainstream media's points of view, I do wonder how much longer that will continue. Now, yet again, like I talked about in the Trench Crusade video, I don't think this is necessarily a call to abandoning the game, nor am I going to make any such demands of anyone. I am simply pointing out, just like in Trench Crusade, that these developers do in fact hate you. They think you are idiots, and they believe they are manipulating you. That should be a warning to everyone, and do with it what you will. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you very much for watching, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.